Change, sir.
Hey, come back! What is this?
Your change, sir.
My change is 200 naira and not 160. You want to steal my change without me giving you? Come on, give me my change now before I change my mind.
Hey, what's happening here?
I gave him his remaining change after deducting VAT.
VAT?
Yes, VAT.
But I did not order VAT with my food.
Yes. 5% of total cost of what you order is called VAT.
Hold on, my friend. Actually, he's right. Although certain goods and services are exempted from payment of VAT. All baby products are not VATable. Even medical and pharmaceutical equipment and services are not VATable. All exports, fertilizers and agricultural equipment are not VATable. Also, VAT is not being paid on newspapers.
Sir, we collect and remit VAT.
Okay, I see.
Thank you, sir.
That is our own special way of welcoming you to today's episode of Tax Matters, a feedback episode. And the feedback will rest squarely on the proceedings, the question and answer session that ensued at the end of the interactive session put together by the Federal Revenue Service with traders trading under the name Balogun Traders Association, domiciled at the International Trade Fair Complex on the Badagry Expressway in Lagos State. It was held on April 3rd, 2012, and it was put together by the FESTAC and Alaba Integrated Tax Offices of the FIRS. It is our hope that the questions that you will see on this episode will adequately represent the queries in your mind, and that the answers provided will satisfy your yearnings for knowledge. Sit back and enjoy.
There's a lot of things that discourages people from paying tax. For instance, a company that was incorporated in 1980 or 1990, after the 18 months grace, of paying tax, now the person is supposed to be paying tax. Maybe he has a problem in his business for over 10 good years. Started again in 2000 or 2005, and then he start up again. He want to pay tax. By the time he get to the Inland Revenue or Federal Inland Revenue, they will start computing tax for him. They might not this one at 18 months, which is grace. The other one, they start computing tax. By the time they finish computing the company tax and the VAT, you see now the money will amount so much. Some of them may even reach up to millions of naira. And then when you ask the person to pay this tax, they will be shying away from it. My question now is this: how do we now subpay that so that some of them who have shied away from paying? Because I know one man who, after computing his tax, he raised up to 9 million something. He said no, instead it's better go and incorporate another company and start using it. So I want us to share these problems. Is there any way you people can talk to government so there could be a waiver, so that anytime the person wants to start, maybe no matter he's supposed to have written a letter if there's any seizure in business, but he did not write. How do we now do this kind of case? Thank you.
We deal with some companies, and each purchase we pay VAT heavily. I want to know where this VAT goes to, and what has it got to do with my tax assessment? Or
another side of the question is income tax is a tax based on income. Am I correct? Am I correct? Yeah, it's a tax based on income. But where somebody is not making an income, where will the tax be based? It may come into somebody's shop, maybe in a whole day, in a whole week. He was able managing to eat and go home and come back. He has not made any income. And they come to him to assess him. Maybe his company was registered 20 years ago, as you said. After as my brother said, after giving the grace of 18 months, he starts computing. He may not be lettered enough. And after computing, he said he will pay, I don't know how much. And this is the person who has not gotten an income. What do we do to that? So I think the government should have a human face. Just as God, who said give to Caesar what is Caesar and what God is God. God has a human face.
My question is on VAT. As an importer who imports a container and pays VAT at the way he's carrying his goods, and the same importer supplies his goods to supermarkets, pack and shop, and the hotels, where the government say collects VAT from the consumers. There's no room, no provision for the importer to go back and claim back his tax. Overseas, when you shop in the market and as you are traveling out, you present your receipts and every tax you paid at the shop is given back to you. Here in Nigeria, at the port, you pay tax. You come, supply it to supermarkets, supply it to hotels. The government goes there and still collects VAT tax from the consumers. The man who has paid at the port is not given the opportunity to recollect the tax he has paid. So please, when you are going around, tell government that they are collecting VAT 4 times from the consumers. It is not fair.
The host tax controllers and the regional coordinator took turns in providing answers to the questions.
One of the questions said, when you don't make income, so where do you pay tax from? All we are asking is that you make returns. Let us know your activity for that year. You know, you haven't sold anything. Tell us you have not sold anything. File a return. In the tax law, we have what is called minimum tax. For the first 4 years, you say you don't make income, you are selling, you are not making profit. Yes, government will give you free. You won't pay anything. But you must tell us that, oh, I've been selling for the past 12 months. I sold for 1 million and I spent 1.2 million, you know, in that selling of 1 million I made. Government will leave you and say, okay, we have heard you. The second year, you haven't made profit, we will hear you. The third year, you haven't made profit, we will hear you. But by the 4th year, you come again and say you have not made profit. There's something minimum tax. There are other parameters in that your returns, you know, in that information you give us that we use to assess you. Then we talked about I don't collect VAT, so I don't pay VAT. You know, this our work. We do it with law. We have laws guiding us. For FIRS, we have different laws. We have the company income tax law, we have the personal income tax law, we have the value-added tax law. The value-added tax law, there's a section that says that you must register for VAT. You have no choice about that. So you register. In fact, this VAT, let me back up a little. This VAT, you are not the one paying it. You are just a collecting agent to the federal government. So it is compulsory you are a collecting agent. That's what the government says. You won't say, I don't collect. You have no choice. You need to collect. It is an offense. There's a penalty for not collecting. There's a penalty if we come around, we check your invoice and you do not state VAT there. There's a penalty for it. So you see, if we are going for the law, it is an offense not to collect. But we are still in the learning stage. So I crave your indulgence that you use this opportunity to learn more. That you need to collect VAT. I'm just telling you what the law says. You see, somebody talked about the stages of paying VAT and everything that we end up collecting VAT in about 4 stages. No, we don't collect VAT more than 1 stage. What we do, like now, you buy this. The person you are buying from should invoice it 5% of VAT. You pay. Then you are going to sell this. You invoice it to that other person 5%. But when you, Mr. XY, is coming to the office, what you paid at buying, you take it away from what you paid, what you collected at selling. It's the difference you give us. So we don't collect VAT in more than one stage. It's just one stage. You do you take away the buying from the selling. What I'm saying is that, one, I have said that it is an offense not to invoice VAT. I have also said that you don't pay VAT more than one stage. It's the difference in what you paid at buying from what you collected at selling that you pay to FIRS.
If you will permit us to add our voice, what Mrs. Ofondu is simply saying is that yes, Nigeria operates a multi-stage value-added tax system. But then, under that system, it is still the final consumer that bears the VAT. And the rate today still remains 5%, no more, no less. Let us use the example of a car importer. The importer imports about 200 units of cars and pays VAT on each of them through the Nigeria Customs Service at the ports. On transferring 20, 10 or 30 units to dealers, those who have showrooms and garages, he adds his own markup, his profit margin, plus the VAT paid at the ports to the dealer. It is the dealer who sells in units of 1 and 2 to final consumers. That dealer will also add his own markup to take care of his showroom, his garage, and his overheads. He adds that one plus 5% VAT before selling to the final buyer. But in remitting VAT to the Federal Revenue Service, that dealer will subtract the VAT that he has paid to the car importer and remits only the balance to the Federal Revenue Service. But as for the final consumer, he pays 5% of the car value. But in all cases, at all stages, VAT must be clearly stated on the invoice. The cost of the vehicle, 1 million naira. Value-added tax at 5%, 50,000 naira. It must be clearly stated before you can do input and output VAT. More answers for you.
Yeah, somebody wanted to know a company that was incorporated more than 18 months ago, and maybe peradventure it failed to register within the time frame. Well, one thing you should know is that it is a law, like my sister said. The law was not written by any of us that are sitting here. We have been told this is what the law has said. A company has been given the opportunity to register or to render returns for an existing company. You are given 6 extra months after the end of the accounting day to file your returns. For a new company, you are given 18 months from the date of your corporation to come and file returns. If government has given you a kind of this opportunity, I see no reason why people are not trying to make up this opportunity to enable them register. However, what we normally do is that because at our different fora, we have been saying it that a lot of traders are complaining that while they registered this company, they were still either in the school, some of them were still learning the trade, some of them were maybe in one job or the other. But the management now told us not to be magnanimous to all these traders, that we should try and endeavor to reduce the pains of taxpayer. What we do, I will cite an example of my office, is that if he has taken a company 7 years after incorporation to come to my office, and he has told us he has not commenced business, I make it mandatory for that company to at least file a statement of affairs for 1 or 2 years. Because the tax certificate, because the essence of you coming to us to say, okay, Oga, I'm ready to register, is because you need a tax clearance. And the certificate I'm going to give to you is not printed free. So you need to part with something to enable the government, to encourage the government to be in business. We're in business. Because my salary is being paid from what I generate. The essence of it is that I want to collect a late registration penalty from you. I'm not going to ask you to pay a tax. Because if the law has said register within 2 days and you fail to register, just like the law says submit your VAT returns 21 days after the end of that month. Some of them will still be coming 22nd day, 23rd day. Some of them will come 60 days after. And you expect us to close our eyes and not charge you VAT penalty. Then on the issue of how this VAT that is collected is shared, or which account does it go to? It goes into VAT full account. And this is at the end of the month, all these states you are commending, doing professional service or doing security, this thing, and securing your road and all this. This is where they go and share the money. All the state of the federation, they share at the end of the month the amount that we collected from VAT and income tax for federation account and VAT. These are put together and it's shared.
On the procedure for acquisition of tax clearance certificate (TCC), especially the request by company owners who claim not to have ongoing or prior business activities.
You want to go to embassy. You can imagine somebody who want to go embassy, and he will go with a bank statement of 5 million. So you are fulfilling embassy requirement, and you want me to give you a tax clearance on need. What I normally tell them is that go and bring the bank statement you have taken to the embassy. Let me see the income on it, and I'll charge you to VAT. It's a simple thing. You cannot say you don't have income. Okay, my brother want to send me. This thing is a collusion with the bank. I just paid somebody money. Give me a fat bank statement of 10 million to go and justify my traveling abroad. You know that is criminal. If you don't have income, why don't you tell the embassy you don't have income? Either they refuse you or they give you the visa. And I can bet you nobody will give you visa if you don't have income. When you are not going there on refugee mission. So invariably, it's because we are not telling the truth. If you tell the truth, I know it is bitter, it's painful to pay tax. I know how much I suffer from my PAYE. I don't have the opportunity of negotiating with Lagos State government. And what I pay in a year, if I tell you, a lot of you will say, FRS, you have been paid well.
Oga, don't come. Tax man, now you. Sit down. How long you thought so you go take bring the tax clearance certificate for me?
Oga, once you give me the money, the tax clearance certificate go ready now.
Now?
Yes, Oga.
Oga, wait, make I bring the money.
Wait. Agent for Federal Inland Revenue Service? This one a Wururu person. Go for here. Guy, forget all these Wururu people. Go any Federal Inland Revenue Service office where they near you. Go collect the original tax clearance certificate. To know the original tax clearance certificate, the tax certificate must get FIRS watermark. It go get signature on top of the FIRS seal, and the name of the tax office where they on top of the certificate must they correct. No print, no give, no even collect fake tax clearance certificate. FIRS don't want say anybody we then catch with fake tax clearance certificate, now jail straight.
For more information, visit www.firs.gov.ng or any FIRS office close to you. FIRS, it pays to pay your tax.
The message is clear. Do not wait until the last minute. Do not wait until you need the TCC before you begin to run helter-skelter. TCC cannot be procured in a day, not even in 2 days. And do not resort to patronizing touts. They will only put you in trouble. Mr. Ifeso still has the floor. On the practice in places like the United Kingdom, where value-added tax paid within the country is refunded at the point of departure for goods being taken out.
What happens is that it's only when you are buying for export. If you are buying from Nigeria and you are taking away the VAT you have suffered in the course of buying from BPA and you are taking it to maybe UK, the VAT there will be refunded if you process it. You remember a lot of us have traveled wide and when you went to abroad and you bought maybe cloth or something like that and you have to claim the VAT, you need to get to the airport on time and fill all the necessary forms. So it is only when you have done that your VAT can be refunded. We are not saying that we don't have the provision of it in the law. When you export goods, it is taxed at 0%. But the VAT you have suffered, you can claim it. If you are trading on exempt item, you are not supposed to collect VAT. If you are selling drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, and some other items listed under the VAT as exempt, you are not allowed to charge VAT. But that does not mean you don't make your returns, because I have seen a supermarket or a pharmaceutical company, a shop that sells both vatable and non-vatable. They sell drugs, they sell perfume, they sell some other things that are vatable. So we just look at the name and say this one is pharmaceutical. Then it's taking away our money. And that's not what the law has said. If you are engaged in dual products that is vatable and non-vatable, the law says you pay VAT on the one that is vatable and render it. If you are trading on non-vatable items, then it is obligatory for you to render it and tell them that this income you made it for a non-vatable item. And then it will be there in the record.
The regional coordinator, Mr. Ezra Suberu, was on hand to shed more light on matters arising.
On the aspect of income tax based on income, really, if you don't have an income like they have earlier said, we do not expect you to pay tax on what you do not earn. And that is why we expect you to be the one to file the returns. We need those returns. For VAT, there's a prescribed form. Go to the tax office, obtain it. If you didn't make any sales, you fill a nil returns, all right, and submit it. But you see, like we said, it's based on honesty. If you continue to fill nil returns for a year, of course it will attract the attention of the tax officials. They want to know, are you telling the truth? Are you being honest with your declaration? It's the same thing with the income tax. There's what we call statement of affairs in lieu of audited accounts, where you are not having any income to declare. Now, for VAT on customers, that how do you remit what you have not collected? We have earlier said that, as I've earlier said, taxes are certain as death. When we are talking of self-assessment, we're not talking of optional. We're just saying that we're giving you, the law now has given you the benefit of filing your returns, computing your tax liability as honestly as you can.
And still on the multi-stage nature of Nigeria's brand of value-added tax.
For instance, you import items. You are given the right to deduct at the point of remittance when you have sold those items. So, like, if you have imported items, you paid VAT of, for instance, 1,000 naira, and you are selling that item, assuming you bought goods worth 1,000 naira, and you paid VAT of 15 naira. If you are selling, for instance, at 1,200, meaning that the VAT payable is 60 naira, all that you need to do is to deduct the 15 naira you have earlier paid. Only the 10 naira which you charge your customer that you will remit to the tax authority. So effectively, you don't pay VAT. You only act as agent of collection for VAT. But where you do not register, you will be paying VAT from your capital or your profit, as the case may be.
How long it will take for you to clear my container?
I dey do am, Oga. Then Sable will go bring our team.
Our team? Which team?
Custom don't change, Oga. I never had Sable.
I want to concern FRS with my business. I will talk to Gaba myself. You are fired. Oga Gaba, which one be this our team again?
The taxpayer identification number now the only way where you fit take do business with Nigerian Customs Service now. You fit process your own free tin sharp for any FRIS office.
Soji,
you just sack me, no.
Get our tin now.
This message now from Federal Inland Revenue Service and Nigeria Customs Service.
We hope that once again, in our own little way, we have been able to deepen your understanding of the Nigerian tax system. If you missed any part of this episode or any previous episode of the program, visit our YouTube channel via your mobile device or on the web. If you have contributions, questions and observations, like our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter. Of course, we remain readily available via email or telephone. We want you to have a blessed week ahead.